We'll talk about that.
It's quite poor. Hello, welcome. My name is Ian and this is Jason, and we're doing the Sinners Review podcast. This is podcast number, I got it wrong last time. I said it was number 4 and it was number 5. So this is podcast number 6. And we're going to talk about Glastonbury. Glastonbury Festival, shall I say, right? Rather than the town, which I've never been to yet. You went for a day. You went on Sunday.
We did. Yeah.
And I've watched all of the sets, but I've looked at 25 acts.
You've seen more than me, probably. I didn't get to see. Well, maybe I did. Maybe I didn't watch 25 different shows, but walking around, I probably got to absorb 25 different people, even if I didn't.
Yeah.
Just walking by, you get 1 or 2 of the songs, and you catch the vibe.
I mean, certainly, I found out that I could have gone because there was buses going from Frome.
There was. I saw them on our way back. The bus stop next to us. So you're in the catchment area. You just need to
I just need to. I can't do it next year because it's not on. But I mean, me and Jen we had a brief conversation about it today, and whether we actually go as volunteers or whether we just apply to go on the Sunday. We've got a year and a bit to think about that, really.
We both. And then,
I quite fancy the idea of volunteering. But we'll see. Anyway, I definitely would like to go 1 year.
Well, what I would say is, the site there's hundreds, thousands of volunteers everywhere.
Yeah, there was 7,000 in total.
Oh, wow, there you go.
Yeah.
So not really any security to speak of. I saw a couple of police people on bikes, but volunteers everywhere. Everybody was happy, even though it was still Sunday. It was their 5th day. Boiling hot conditions. They're standing outside most of the time, but everybody, even on that day 5, was still smiling, very helpful. Good. Everyone was buzzing. You have to say hats off to them.
Yeah.
Hats off.
I mean, I feel slightly. I wish I'd done something about it because I feel like I certainly want to go, and it's a pity I won't be able to do it next year. But we should probably talk about the controversy first of all and get it out of the way. So, do you know which controversy I'm talking about?
Yeah, Bob Villain and not Bob Dylan, as some people on the record.
Yeah, well, that's one of them, but there's more. But yeah, so let's talk about that first of all. I have
been blown out of proportion.
Absolutely. I mean,
one set of hundreds of artists.
Yeah.
It's just all part of distraction of current media. It's look over here, don't look over there. Never mind. We've got to be careful we don't stray into politics, but never mind.
No, that's my worry.
Never mind the atrocities going on in the world. Oh, there's a black fellow on stage saying bad things.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna be balanced about it, we've had Israeli members of parliament. I know. Sorry, we are straying into politics, but only briefly. We've had Israeli ministers basically saying things like they should drop an atom bomb on Gaza.
Yeah, man.
And nothing gets said about it. Nothing in the media gets covered really very much.
Let's not start. I've just watched more news, and 100 people have been killed today trying to get food at the feeble attempt of getting aid into the country because they've stopped everything that was already working and getting aid into the country. More people should be doing what Bob Dylan said. He's been banned from going to America, but
they've been dropped from a festival in Manchester and another festival in France today. And I did watch a little bit of Kneecap because I know that Kneecap wasn't going to be streamed live. And I quite enjoyed the bit of Kneecap that I saw actually. Right. And I mean, let's face it. Who up until this? I didn't know about Bob Vylan. I'd never heard of him.
Oh, no, I listened.
Oh, you listened to them?
Liked it, but because very outspoken anyway. His lyrics are very outspoken. They're very current, so it's not like it's in keeping with his vibe of what he does. I think. I mean, I haven't researched him properly, but
and the BBC have announced that they're I mean, Lisa Nandy has said that they want a proper investigation into it. I mean, I think it's just all completely you're right, it's distraction techniques, but actually I am disappointed in the BBC for not standing up for him, because somebody actually I think it was on the Guardian today, a journalist has said, Glastonbury isn't a political event. So it shouldn't come across as a political event, although political comments are being made, and the fact that
C&D and Greenpeace are the two big institutions that have always been associated with it. So one person spoke about what thousands of people are thinking.
Yes.
What irritated me most, Ian, is so on Monday I had to do my commute down the A303 M3 towards London. I choose to, but I knew it would be pretty bad because everybody coming out of Glastonbury. So I left a little bit later. So the journey took me around 2 hours, just over 2 hours, and I had Radio 5 Live on, and the whole 2 hours was Bob Vylan. Like, man alive, and they had callers. It was Nicky Campbell who he was trying to be fairly balanced, but the callers, the amount of vitriol from callers just about one guy just doing that.
What, against them?
Yeah, just ridiculous. Wow. Ridiculous. He was infuriating. It's nuts. Like, come on.
I agree. Yeah,
and happened at festivals and rock. Concerts year over year, Sex Pistols, the Beatles. John Lennon must be rolling in his grave.
I know, yeah.
Like, what the heck? Come on.
Yeah,
come on.
The other controversy is Charlie XCX.
Auto-tune, your favourite?
I actually watched her set. I watched all of her set. And while I was watching it, I didn't watch it live because I watched it, I can't remember which day I watched it. Probably Saturday. I think, because she headlined on Saturday.
She headlined
Saturday, so it would have been Sunday. I watched it.
It was her and Neil Young, and apparently the Neil Young, everybody was at Charlie XCX rather than watching it.
I mean, to be balanced, everybody looked like they were having a really great time. Really. Yeah. But obviously there has been a bit of a backlash. Apparently she's called out us boomers, apparently. So
I saw that interview.
Yeah, I have gone and looked at it again today, just to make sure that I was, because when I was watching, I'm thinking, I'm not keen on the auto-tune thing, but that's what she does anyway. Fair enough. But then I'm looking and I'm thinking, I think she's lip syncing. I don't think she's singing very much, because when she starts to shout, technically the auto tune is still going on behind her, and she's shouting over the top of it. And I checked it again today, and that's true. It's more.
Yeah, and I think a lot of artists in that arena do that. They have supports. They have a backing track that's supporting them on the complex bits. Yeah. Otherwise it would sound thin. It's a big pop tune, heavy production in the studio. Recreating live, I think you've probably got to have a bit of vocal backing track, right? Most kind of, if you look at boy bands and female pop bands, a lot of them do that.
I mean, let's face it, all of them to some extent have that. And I've got a bit of a rant against a band that is from York, but we'll get onto them.
What's the auto-tune thing, Ian?
Yeah.
I'm going to maybe just challenge it a little bit.
That's all right.
She talked about it, that it is a tool, right? And she did it artistically. And actually, she was very open about it's actually impacting her ability to sing normally without it. she was saying, I've lost that training. I do have a good voice. I was able to stay in tune, but because I'm using that as a tool, actually, it's diminishing my skills. So that was quite good that she acknowledged that. But using auto-tune, either live or in the studio, is it not the same as a guitarist using a fuzz pedal?
To some extent, but my argument is that I don't think it's a particularly good effect. When it first, it was T-Pain that was the first big artist to use it a lot, and we know that Cher had that, I believe, wasn't it?
You're going to sing it?
No, absolutely not. No, and I'll be honest with you, it worked on that as an effect. That was a studio effect. It worked on that song. But to use it to that extent, and I believe there are singers who have grown up with listening to artists that do it, and they just do it naturally. That effect. Yeah,
the warble.
And I just think it's so last century to some extent. It's not. And if it's affecting her ability to sing properly, well, stop bloody using it. Because it's dated already. I think. No,
I'm with you. It's definitely not my cup of tea. But
that could just disappeared.
It's not my cup of tea. But on the other hand, we're just trying to be balanced here.
Oh, we are.
She's a British global superstar, and fair play to her. Whether we like it,
it's not. It's not to my taste. But and like I say, everybody in the crowd looked like they're having a great time.
90,000 probably.
Yeah.
And she's filling stadiums around the world. So you'd have to say, why not? If she's delivering something that people want, right? And if you actually think about, there's quite a trail now of young female artists that are dominating the music industry, right? Billie Eilish, Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, who's there, Charlie XCX. You can go on, right?
Yeah.
They're outselling, females are probably outselling males by probably 70-30 or something.
I'm a big fan of a female artist, and always have been. And in fact, a good percentage of the people. I've done the top 10 because we like a top 10. Out of my 25 acts that I saw, there is a top 10 who I think are exceptional. Right. So let's do the ones that are have not hit the top 10. So first of all, actually, let me have my little rant about now Shed 7. Just before I talk about them, there is two people who played Glastonbury who I know. One of them is the guitarist out of Shed 7.
Are they from?
They're from York band, and his business was opposite ours in Pocklington. Nice lad. I don't know the singer very well, Rick, but we have met. So York band. Glad they're having a resurgence because they were a 90s band.
I saw something on the socials. They pulled a big crowd.
They did pull a big crowd. What annoyed me was that and it sounded good, but they had a keyboard player who was also a guitarist, right? But most of the piano, organ, and strings weren't played. They were on backing tracks, and I'm thinking, come on, lads, you've got one keyboard player there. There's nothing wrong with having another keyboard player. They had a brass section and a load of a small choir.
So they were nearly there, right?
Yeah, just hire an extra keyboard player and play everything live. But it sounded fine, actually. I'll be honest, they were never I was never into the Britpop thing, apart from Pulp, really. So I was glad they were doing well from being local lads, really. But so they should have. That was my rant over anyway. So they were one of the bands I saw. Shed 7. Okay, said about backing tracks. I watched Ray. I thought she was okay, but I didn't watch all of the set. I don't think she's really my sort of thing, if I'm honest. I did watch a little bit of. Sorry, go on.
You said there was two people you knew. It wasn't Ray's not the second one.
No, Ray's not the second one. But the other person I knew, I will reveal at the end.
And
right. They played the Pyramid stage.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's a teaser for everybody. If we get to a part 3,
you're going to have mates with Leroy Thornhill from Prodigy, aren't you? No, they were.
They were good actually. Prodigy. So I watched a bit of them. I think they were better than I expected them to be. If that makes sense, you know. So Ray, Shed 7, Prodigy, B. I never heard of them before, but Bieber Doobie.
Yeah,
I thought they were okay.
Yeah, I've heard of those. That's been on my head. They had one big. There was a big poppy hit, I think, probably last summer or something.
Yeah, they hadn't registered with me. I watched Fortet, thought they were okay. I enjoyed the first 10 or 15 minutes, and then it got a bit generic for me.
Okay,
and it was very dancey, but you know. He's
playing Ali Pali in November, and it popped up.
All right.
Popped up. I got a notification about it. I'm like, should I?
Fancy it?
Yeah.
I'll come back to some electronic artists. I thought the silliest hat of the festival went to Japanese Breakfast, lead singer. She did dump the hat after about 4.5 minutes, but it was the most ridiculous hat I've ever seen. Anyway, I watched Katie J. Pearson. Okay, wasn't for me. Okay. Did watch a bit of Amel and the Sniffers. It's a bit too punk for me, really.
They're building up a storm, though.
They are hot property, and they have been for about the last year or so. You know, I mean, when I've listened to them on radio, odd tracks I've liked. You know, but I'm not so sure I'd want to listen to a whole album, if I'm honest. Right. You know, but good. You know, for that sort of stuff to be up there and playing Pyramid Stage, good on them. Really, I think they're on Pyramid Stage. I was slightly disappointed by Caribou.
Okay.
Didn't really register with me that well. And who else didn't I? So that's everybody that. And I say I watched. I would have liked to watch a bit of Bob Vylan. To have an opinion about the music, but I couldn't because they've been banned. You know. And Kneecap, I did watch a bit of Kneecap and thought I enjoyed it. Interestingly, somebody in the audience streamed all of Kneecap's performance to TikTok live.
Whoa.
And they've turned around and said, well, I think it's a girl, I think Helen was her name, and they said, well done, Helen, if you want to come to any gig, just hit us up and we'll give you some tickets, which I thought was lovely. You know. Cool. Right, so the top 10 in reverse order. Floating Point.
Yep.
Thought it was a really good set, actually.
Yep.
Didn't know that much about them. I knew they were electronic, but I hadn't listened to a lot of their stuff.
Yeah, it's a bit Fortet-y, glitchy.
It is a bit
melodic, maybe. But yeah, good.
So then we had, I'm going to say Marabou State, who...
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, and the girl, I know the girl singer's not in the duo, but she was great.
Holly Walker, I think, is it?
Her name, but I thought she was really good when, you know, that was a really good set. I watched all of that set.
I've got a couple of their albums. They're quite unique because everything's got all the rhythm has got swing to it.
Yeah.
And they've got a really unique kind of string sound where it's almost pitch bending.
Yeah.
It's really quite unique. If I grab a couple of their albums, they're really good.
I'm going to have a listen. Yeah.
Like it.
Next would be Faye Webster, who I didn't know anything about. It's quite laid back and quite. She looked like a schoolgirl. She was sort of dressed like a schoolgirl.
My daughter, Faye Webster.
Yeah, no, I thought she was. It was quite gentle and quite laid back and quite chilled, but I did quite like it. Then we've got who have we got next? I think we've got to go for Olivia Rodriguez next.
Okay.
I watched all of her set. I mean, she brought Robert Smith on and did a duet with him. He looks really uncomfortable.
He was trying to be happy.
Yeah, but he looked really quite uncomfortable. She was obviously clearly a massive fan.
He was probably the oldest person there.
He probably was. But no, her set was really good actually.
I'll talk you. We witnessed a couple of the songs, didn't do the whole set, and I'll take on my bit. on there, 6.
So that's 6. So next we've got CMAT.
Yeah.
Now, CMAT came to Froome, didn't she? And I missed her. And I started to watch it and thought, it's one of the clips actually, right? I thought, I'm not so sure about this. And then I went back and watched the whole set, and
very entertaining.
Really got the crowd going, and I thought she was really great actually. I thought, now I get it, but it took me that second visit,
right,
to actually get it, and I thought she was great. And I was appalled to hear that there'd been fat shaming on a previous festival that she did earlier this year because of the way she looks. And she mentioned it, and she'd written a song about it. And
well, she played. Every year they do a Pilton party, which is like a mini Glastonbury. And yeah, she was the headline last year.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I think it's like September time. I think it's kind of late summer. They usually have some quite big names. It's quite a good gig.
But I'd definitely go and see her if she ever comes to local again, or even Bristol. I'd go and see her. I thought she was great.
Yeah, I mean she's blowing. They're on a upward trajectory. Sure.
Definitely, yeah. Next we have got. Would we go in next? I've not done these in any particular. I have done in my head. I've done them in my order, but So next we've got. I think we'll go with Gracie Abrahams. Who was a bit of a surprise for me because I knew who she was, being J.J. Abrahams' daughter, so nepo baby. But actually, and I did enjoy her set better than Olivia Rodrigo's.
She did a cover.
She did the same song. But she didn't have Robert Smith. They both did Just Like Heaven.
That's it.
But her set was really, really good. She looked great. The band were great. The whole set was fab.
So I saw her a couple of years ago. So Evelyn is really into Gracie Abrams. She's like right up there for her. We went to a gig in Southampton. I forget the name of the place. Capacity 600 people.
Right.
An intimate gig. It was just her and acoustic guitar. Capacity 600. There was 595 girls and 5 dads.
Yeah, I can imagine. But I'd definitely go see her. I mean, she was great.
She was really good. So it was like she was playing, and basically, everybody was singing along to every word. But between every song, she was really chatting, really getting immersed in the audience. They all brought her gifts, and she was really chatting. Really thankful, really, really personal. I was really impressed. And this was 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, max.
Yeah.
Now stadiums, no.
I mean, she was sort of pointing to people in the audience and going, "You're right," like she knew them. And I'm sure her fans were right down at the front, or as close as you can get to the front. But she just came across as a really, again, no auto tuning going on there at all. The girl can sing.
Yeah, she's very skilled. Yeah, sing up.
Yeah.
Are on most tracks as well.
So, and in fact, I added her 2022 album to my Apple Music, and I've been listening to it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 tunes that I would like. Of all of the stuff that's always on play in our house, from having a teenage, late daughter, there's 2 or 3 of those songs that have cut through for me. The rest of them are all just a bit, all a bit samey, all a bit generic. But a couple of hers stand out for sure.
So I've got 4 more to do. I've lost count here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think. Does that sound about right?
Go on then.
So right, in fourth place, Self-Esteem. Now I really like Self-Esteem. I've liked the first 2 albums. Not so hot on the latest album, if I'm honest. But her set, and she had this choir with her as well as a band, was just absolutely stunning. It was really great. It was really good. And then we've got Pulp. Pulp were amazing. I thought Pulp were great. It's great to see him, Jarvis again.
They were the surprise act that weren't really at the time it got to the festival. I think everybody knew who they were. Everyone had figured.
I think he said that at the beginning. He said, "Did you know it was us?" And I went, "Yeah."
Right.
So yeah, poorly kept secret, definitely. And then so there's 2 more, and I think. I'm going to go with Lord next, who I was pleased to see that she was playing. I do like the new album. I've listened to it a lot. It's much more closer to the first 2 albums, which I've got on CD. I didn't bother buying the 3rd album because I'll be honest with you, I wasn't so keen on it. But her set was really good, you know. And the best thing I thought was Alanis Morissette, who I just thought was absolutely amazing.
Oh, okay. I didn't expect you to say that. Okay.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit when it was on TV on the Saturday.
Yeah.
A couple of songs, and it kind of she passed me by anyway when she was...
Oh, did she? Oh, I'm a fan.
Peak. Oh, okay.
Her last album is a sort of ambient electronica album. You should listen to it. There's no vocals. I can't remember what it's called now, and I keep meaning to buy it actually on CD. It is on my Apple Music. It's a really, really good ambient electronic album.
Okay.
So she's not always doing the same thing.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I really didn't.
Yeah, so check that out. It's really it's such a different thing for her to do as well, you know. But she did a greatest hits slot, really, you know.
Right.
And now I will tell you who we're running out of time, so I won't tell you. We'll break here, and then we'll come back and we'll have what your day was like, and then at the end of that, I'll tell you who the person I knew who was on the pyramid stage. Okay, so see you shortly.
All right, Brand.
Right.
Yeah.